Hey, what's up, YouTube? So today's video is going to be on just how to deal with being single. How to deal with being single because, me personally, I'm single. I'm not in a committed or serious relationship. And so, you can always find videos about relationship or does he love me? Does she love me? Or is he faithful? Is she faithful? All those videos, but you hardly ever find videos that are like, okay, how to deal with being single, how to be happy being single. So that's what we're going to explore today. So stay tuned. Okay, so the first step you want to take to, like, coping with being single, dealing with being single, and like your journey towards happiness with being single is that you want to have self-love, and not a self-love like, oh, designer clothes make me who I am. Like, no, like, it's okay to have designer clothes and nice things, but those things shouldn't make you. You should make them. You know what I mean? Like, so like, for example, like self-love as far as like learning hobbies that keep you interested, learning hobbies that make you happy, learning, like, we all have a talent. Some of us don't really even try to figure out what our talent is. So if you're single, you have more time on your hands because you don't have to really be dedicated to someone or focus on them. So you can use that focus that you would have for that person on yourself to like explore your talents. And when I mean talents, I mean obvious talents. It could be singing, could be writing. Some people have the talent of mentoring. You're a good listener to your friends. Some people have cooking. You can cook for others. You can cook for, comfort for yourself. Like, but you don't want to overindulge in the cooking and eating. But you can. That's why I say maybe cook and cook for others, or bake for an elderly couple in your neighborhood, or bake for your neighbor who's, you know, down or something like that, or a sick and shut in, or donate or something like that. Like, if that's cooking is your thing. But definitely you don't want to indulge. And but along those lines, you also have to think about, a lot of people are emotional eaters. So single people can, certain single people can gain weight during being single because they use food to pacify their feelings that they're having. And you don't really want to use food as an emotional crutch. What you want to do is be able to be self-sufficient, to be your own crutch for yourself. So once again, back to the self-love, meaning, finding what your talents are, and then exploring your talents and like nurturing them, and nurturing them to grow into something that's beneficial for yourself and for the universe too. Because along the lines of being single, you don't have to dedicate yourself to someone. You can be more available to help others, or to help those in need, because you aren't committed to that big responsibility right now. So self-love is definitely it's the basis for being single, because you need to know how to be whole and how to be happy on your own. Because of course, I don't know, my grandmother, she passed away, my dad's mom, she always told me that, um oh shoot, you have to be whole on your own. You just gotta be whole on your own. You have to be whole on your own. You have to stand your own 2 feet. And honestly, like, like, if you can't master how to be happy and single, then you won't be able to master a relationship, because you'll be codependent. And that's not really good, because, it's okay to work together with someone, but being codependent means that you can't, when they need their time to do whatever they need to do, you can't go do anything for yourself. Like, like, it's okay, so being single is a time to focus on your talents, your goals. It's a time to focus on, you may have ideas that have been running in your head. Write those ideas down and let's start working on them. At least during this time, during this single time, you should have written down one idea, and you should have accomplished it and done it to the end. It could be starting a YouTube channel, starting a meetup group, write a book. It could be a short book. You don't have to write a long book, but you need to pick your idea and then see it through. And you know, the more topics that you pick, or the more ideas that you pick, or the more projects that you start and that you finish, you will continually see growth within yourself. Those little things and little steps, it sounds like little stuff. It sounds like, oh, I don't have time for that. But you do have time for that. And doing those things are going to help you grow, like spiritually. They're going to help you grow emotionally. They're going to make you strong. They're going to make you dependent on yourself. And they're going to make you feel fulfilled. Like, to be single and feeling and having fulfillment is a good thing. Like, for instance, when you go feed the homeless or help with the homeless drive or something, like afterwards you feel good, like, I'm so glad I gave back to the community, I'm so glad I helped others. Like, you know, so being a single person, you can dedicate yourself to all those things and make time for those things. So another thing about being a single person, how to be happy with single, another thing, how to be happy being single, don't reach out to your ex. They're an ex for a reason. Do not fall into that trap. It'll just damage you in the end. Like, you don't want to fall into that trap. You have to be strong because it ended for a reason. They didn't work. You guys are in love, whatever. And those reasons you tend to forget over time, but they'll still be there. Unless both of you have spiritually and emotionally grown since your last relationship, it's going to end up the same, and it's going to cause you more damage than good. If anything, if you still want to be friends with your ex, go ahead, but anything outside of a platonic friendship, I definitely would not even deal with. I mean, at some point you have to learn how to be friends with your exes anyway, but and that's actually a sign of personal, unless they did something like crazy, like beat you up or something, obviously you don't need to be their friend. But if they're like a normal ex, a sign of growth and being dependent on your own self is that you can be friends with your ex, and the things don't bother you, and you don't have to dredge them up, and you can go forward. And I'm not saying y'all gotta talk every day or y'all gotta hang out, but just having a platonic friendship to where you know what I'm saying, it's just, you don't have no hard feelings. That's and that's something that you can work on being single too, is learning how to not be upset, because you know we're all human. So that person may have done something to you that hurt you, but you got to remember they're a human too. Nobody's perfect. We don't wake up, we don't grow up with an instruction manual sitting next to us. Like, we learn things along the way, you know. So another thing that you can do to deal with being single is, like, when you start to feel lonely or stuff, go take a walk. Go walk by the water. You know, gyms are going to start opening soon. That's another thing single people do. Like, some single people do it to meet people. I'm not even going to act like they don't, but they do. But it's other single people who are just in there. Like, once you get in there, even if you just walk on the treadmill, once you start walking, get that blood circulating, you're going to just start to feel, well, you might be sore the first couple of days. Let me take that back. But that once your body gets accustomed to that routine, you're going to start to feel better. And look at all these things that you are filling yourself up with, all these things that you're doing physically, you know, like writing your book or starting your YouTube channel or counseling others or feeding the homeless or going to the gym. All those things are going to add up to a routine in your life. And once you get a routine in your life, oh, you are going to master this being single thing. I'm telling you. And you know, along the road of fulfillment in singleness and happiness with being single, you're going to have pitfalls. You're going to have stumbling blocks. You're going to have speed bumps. And guess what, y'all? Those are okay too. We are human. It's okay to fall. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay. As long as you can look at that mistake, reevaluate that mistake, and don't do it again to yourself. And also, you want to know, with the things you do, you always want to look at the consequences of the things you do. You know, so being single, you have the opportunity to evaluate yourself, evaluate things you've done. You know, me. I've started journaling again. I hadn't journaled for a while. I started journaling again. So what I'm doing is I'm writing down things I like about myself and things I want to work about on myself. And you guys join me in that. Get you a journal, get you a little book, hide it somewhere so nobody will find it, and write those things down. And what you want to do is you want to be every day working towards the things that you don't like about yourself and fixing them. And it's not going to happen overnight, but little by little, you'll start to see progress. And you'll know progress because others will gravitate towards that thing that you wanted to change. So the universe will definitely send you progress. You will see results, but it's just little by little. You have small victories, I like to call them. And I love small victories, because small victories to me equal to the change I'm putting out. I'm seeing it. here and there. You know what I mean? So you definitely want that. So the other day I was on social media and I saw a quote, and it really like put me into perspective on a lot of things. And it was, let me see if I have this quote, because actually I do have it. It's in my phone. It's just when I saw it, I actually took a screenshot of it because I was like, wow, this is really profound. And this is something I want to work on and I want to do. So this quote says, okay, pretend that every single person you meet has a sign around his or her neck that says, make me feel important. Not only will you succeed in sales, you will succeed in life. So this is what I interpret that is. It's not be a doormat. Don't be a doormat. Self-love first, love yourself, use your strength. But what it's saying is when you meet a person and you see something good about them, mention it to them and encourage it. Because as you are single and need to be encouraged, we also want to encourage others because life is karma. Life is a circle. If you put out good energy, you'll get it back. If you put out bad energy, you'll get that back too. So let's put out the good energy of helping others. Oh, that's a nice dress you have on. Oh, your hair is beautiful. Oh, your eyes is beautiful. Oh, your children are beautiful. Oh, wow, that's a nice car. You must be very good with managing money, or whatever it is to make people feel important. You want to do that because they gravitate towards that. You're bringing it in to yourself, because once again we have to learn how to be whole as a single person. You have to learn the joy, and then being I'm a single person who has children. So if you're a single person that has children, your children are definitely your joy. You can work on them, routine for you guys to do stuff, especially now with like where in my area sports are canceled for the summer, and the pools probably won't be open for, I don't know what's going to happen this summer, but I know that we need to try to find a way to work around that to still, have our children on a routine, for the summer. But being single, I've had nights where I've cried about being single. But being single is not it shouldn't be a burden. It's time for you to self-reflect and to grow. You want to grow, because like, let's just say you rushing into a relationship or something that you're not ready for. You're going to mess it up because you were not ready, because you were not whole as a person. First, you have to be whole. You have to learn how to do things on your own. You have to learn how to just, whether it's take a short walk, whether it's read a book, whether it could be, I told you, small victories. Small victories mean a lot, because you'll look back on all those small victories like, oh, wow, I mastered all those things. Like, okay, go me. So I want you guys to be encouraged. Don't feel down. Don't feel depressed. We all have been there, but I want you guys, as I encourage myself, I want to encourage you guys as well. You can do this. You can do good. It's going to be okay. Every day is a new start to a new day. You don't have to live in the past. You don't have to live in things that didn't go right. A lot of times we beat ourselves up. Don't beat yourself up. If there's something you're beating yourself up about, I want you to write that in your journal. And I want you to work on healing that, whether it's writing a letter to that person, calling that person, apologizing, or even trying to see the situation through the other person's eyes. Because a lot of times we're upset, we don't do that. And then we don't get closure from the past relationship. But I think it's important to do that, because a lot of times, especially for women with men, like, men aren't going to give you closure. They're not going to tell you this and that. Like, they, like, I mean, there are some mature men that actually can step outside of the relationship and tell you, and if you, and that's good. Like, that's the person you probably want to keep as your friend when y'all break up, because at least they're going to give you an honest review of what's going on. But not every man is capable of doing that, and you have to understand that, and you can't be mad. That anger that you have at that person, take that anger, write it down, and work on those things and change those things. Everything happens for a reason. It's all meant to make us better. These experiences that we live are all ultimately adding up to something great in our life, So I just want you to do this video. I want you guys to be encouraged. I want you guys to go out there and conquer things and make things happen. And I also want to tell you guys that I love you guys. I hit my 1,000 subscribers. I got a little bit over. I'm so excited. So I have to do my how to get 1,000 subscribers video. So it's coming, but I just want to really put some time and effort into that for you guys. But make sure to leave me some comments in the comment section. Let me know some more ideas. I hear you guys. I see you guys. What happens is if I see a comment, I'll try to jot it down so I can remember to make that video. But a lot of times if I can't write it down and I'm on the go, I'll forget. But just know that I've read all your comments. I'll try to like all my comments. I've read all your comments. I'm going to get to you guys' videos. So just hang in there with me. 2020 is halfway through, but I feel like this has been a good year. I've accomplished my goal of getting 1,000 subscribers. Y'all know I love y'all so much, and I will talk to you later, YouTube.